welcome to Email Marketing, Setting Up a MailChimp Account. I am Joe Akers, the Director of Marketing, and today what we're going to do in this class is we're going to go through the process of setting up a MailChimp account. MailChimp is the specific account that we're talking about using, but the importance here is the fact that you would be setting up an account so that you can begin to develop your email marketing efforts with your business. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I wanted to go through is you're probably thinking to yourself, it's not so much why would I bother with email marketing? I'm sure you've done things like that before. You've sent emails from your regular email account to your sphere and announcements and things of that nature. But the question would be, in terms of a cohesive or a consistent program that you put together for yourself for email marketing, what benefits does it have for me? So I wanted to go through a few stats just to kind of let you know that email marketing is one of the biggest things out there right now for marketing, not so much the printed page. So your postcards and things of that nature that you are sending out still have a tangible effect. There are people who like receiving those, but email marketing is a very large portion of a lot of marketing strategies in other companies. So 73% of millennials prefer communications via email over any other method. So that is a large group of people, and they prefer to get emails as opposed to getting phone calls or printed materials mailed to them. More than 50% of the U.S. Respondents check their email more than 10 times a day. Now ask yourself how many times a day you check your email, and then you can probably count yourself among the more standard numbers of folks who are constantly checking their email, goofing off or wasting time, or just going through their emails and trying to clear things up and deciding what is worth holding on to and what is worth reading, all that good stuff. 99% of consumers check their email every day. I don't know anyone, there are a few people that I know that have email accounts that do not check their email every day, but most of us are checking it more than once a day. 80% of business professionals believe that email marketing increases customer retention. So if we are providing our customers, our audience with value and quality, and things that are useful and exciting, they're going to be looking forward to what you have to say, and it's also going to make them ambassadors and cheerleaders of you and your business and your brand and spread the word for you to other people. 59% of those respondents say marketing emails influence their purchasing decisions. So that's not to say that you're going to send them an email with a just listed and you're going to get a bunch of people trying to buy the house, but that is not beyond the realm of possibility. What you are doing is you are remaining top of mind with everyone, and if they or someone they know has decided that they are looking to buy or sell a home, then if you've been doing your job, if you've been doing your work, then you definitely have someone who's going to refer you. So MailChimp. MailChimp is my email marketing platform of choice. It is something that I've used in the past and I've used quite consistently. There are definitely others out there, but this one is the one within Agent Own that we're looking to use and looking to have everyone to use, because not only is it going to be beneficial to you to set up an account and to use it yourself, but we are developing programs that would involve using MailChimp, and in order to participate in them, you'll have to have a MailChimp account. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about MailChimp and one of the reasons why, or multiple reasons why, I've chosen MailChimp to be our go-to. So MailChimp has a very generous free plan. We'll talk about that during the class, but it is plenty for you to get started. There are excellent reporting tools, so the analytics and the data that you get from the folks who have read your email and opened it and clicked the links that you've provided, there's a lot to work with there, and there are lots of integrations with that data that you can use going forward in more advanced ways. So there's a lot of growth potential with MailChimp. It's clean, it's easy to use, and the template editor is drag and drop. So there's a lot of ease to it. Plus, there's a lot of information that you can use as you start to grow your email marketing program to give you access to additional tools to make your reach spread even further and get results that you're looking for. MailChimp has 60+% of the market share of email marketing platforms. And, I'm sure you've heard of Constant Contact. Constant Contact really stands out to me as the other one. But MailChimp has been made much more user-friendly, in my opinion. And I've tried a lot of different things, and I really enjoy it. With 12 million customers, they have to have a very good customer service. They have to have good technology, and they have to get great results. They are constantly incorporating new and improved features that are both free and with the paid programs. And it's really just a great all-around program to use. Okay, so now that we've gone through some of the benefits and some of the numbers and figures in terms of what makes email marketing such a great thing, and we've talked about MailChimp and some of the reasons why that is a great choice for your email marketing, let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to go ahead and navigate over to MailChimp.com, and we're going to get our accounts up and running. So we've navigated to MailChimp.com, and we're at the homepage where we can go ahead and start the sign up process. So what we're going to do now is we'll just take a look at the pricing so you can understand how things are set up and what we're going to choose to start off with. So there are a number of plans available with MailChimp, and there are a ton of integrations. But what you have is you have a stair step in terms of what is available, and their features kind of are added to it as the price goes up. But I will tell you that the free basic plan is probably one of the best deals around in terms of email marketing and the email marketing application to use. The big thing here to point out is with the free plan, you can have 2,000 contacts. Now we know that doing SOI, most people tend to stay around 300 or below. We do have a few people that have more than that, but 2,000 is quite a bit. So just remember 2,000 contacts and then 10,000 emails a month. If you were to max out at 2,000, then you'd be able to send 5 emails a month. And I don't even recommend doing that. I would say 1 to 2 emails a month would be great. But even if you did 5, you basically could send 1 a week and still be below that max. So we're actually going to go ahead and use the free account, and we're going to click Get Started. So we're going to use a dummy account and get that all set up. We'll just pick a username, and we'll pick what most people probably call me. And then you can do a suggested password, but we'll do something basic for right now. All right, we've got a secure password. Hopefully I'll be able to remember that. Probably not. Go ahead and say Get Started. That's going to start setting up our information, and then we're going to go and check our email to see what that looks like. Okay, so we've navigated to my email account, and as we can see, we've got the activation email, and we're going to go ahead and activate the account. All right, and then we'll just go through these processes. Say you're not a robot, and luckily I have everything saved, so we'll go ahead and use that and go ahead and log in. So first thing we're presented with is our free plan. What we're going to want to do, the reason for this is if you happen to bump up to the next plan, then they can charge you for that. But we're going to go ahead with that. Go ahead and give them that information. Here is where you would put your particular URL if you've got an agent portal. We're just going to go ahead for now, and we're going to put in agent owned, but you would put in your portal if you have that. Otherwise, you would put in agent owned. You could even put in the URL for your agent profile page. That is the basic thing you're set up with, but a portal is much better. All right, we'll let that go ahead and fill all that information out for us. This, as we're going through the process, have your, we talked about it before, have your contacts ready to go in the correct format, and then this will allow us to go ahead and upload those at this time. And then, so we'll just say how many do we have. This is going to gauge whether or not you're picking the right plan. So we'll say that it's 500 or less, and then we'll go with that. You can go ahead at this point and connect to your social media. But you'll see here, it'll ask you to authorize the app if you want to do that, and that allows you to post something. If you send out an email and you want everybody to have access to it, then you can go ahead and do that now. All right, so this is going to ask a few questions to walk you through to give you information and tutorials and educational items that might help you with what you're looking to do. So are you looking to make money off the content of your site? This would not necessarily be that. You want leads to contact you and then you take it from there. So it's not an e-commerce. So we'll go ahead and say no. You're going to say your software or apps interface. Real estate search sites, yes. Do you sell things online? No, you do not. Do you support bookings? I'm going to say no. Do you want people to talk one-on-one with a person? Yes. It even says realtors in there. See, you measure success by people reaching out directly, a call or chat, or exactly. And then we're going to go ahead and continue. Okay, so at this point, you can pick anything that you want to. They have a series that's called MailChimp Presents. It's a monthly newsletter, and it's talking about various businesses that use MailChimp and how it's successful for them. You have case studies that will help you, and these might be a good thing for you to do because that'll kind of talk about how they went about their email program, and it might give you some ideas. For the purpose of this example, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the master agent list simply because we know that there are first and last names here, and then we've obviously got the work email. Then there's a bunch of other information that some that we can use, some that we don't. And for anything, whether it's an Excel or a Google Sheets, you're going to actually save that as a comma separated value, a .csv. So we're going to save that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually go ahead and clean that up a little bit because we don't need all of the information and we want to make our lives just a little bit easier. Okay, so we'll pull that over and then we'll go ahead and open that up. Excuse me for a moment while I pull that in. So we can say how it goes by first and last name. That's great. We definitely want the email. We want the cell phone. We don't need office. A birthday month might be good. Let's see, is there anything else that we want? You can add birthdays in there. We're going to leave those out because we really have just about everything that we want right now. We'll go ahead and delete all of that information. Phone numbers are good. So basically what we're left with here is we are left with the first name, possibly a nickname, last name, email, and a phone number. And that's plenty. And so that's ready to go. So we're just going to go ahead and save that. And then we're ready to upload that into it. Okay, so when you log in, if you haven't been taken there after we finished our sign up, you would go to audience. That's going to be where you can upload your contacts. You say this audience has 0 contacts, 0 of them are subscribers. So here's an important side note. You have to have been willingly given that email address to add this in here. If you just grab email addresses and then put those in there, what's going to happen is if you get enough reports from sending folks emails who didn't ask to be subscribed to this, then you could be blacklisted and you could actually be booted off of MailChimp because you're violating rules. So just make sure that if you have any email address list that you're using, that you have permission or you have a actual request to be added to your newsletter. If you're concerned about it, you can actually create something that you can send to folks asking them to sign up for your newsletter, and that will help. So if you have people who have willingly given you your email address, you should be in good shape. But if you have any questions whatsoever, we're going to be sending them an email asking them to sign up. So on this page, it'll say import your contacts, which is exactly what we're going to do. We are going to the CSV file that we downloaded. We're going to do that. So let's click continue. And then we're going to browse for our file. That should be in our downloads. So we'll go take a look at that. Here we go. Master Agent, All Offices, CSV. We're going to open that. And so we continue to match. And what this match is that's going to actually match up the items that you have in the headers of this list. So we haven't matched it yet. So we're going to edit. And this is first name, so we're going to select first name, save that. This is the goes by, so let's see if we have an option here. We're probably just going to skip that because we don't have an option for a nickname. So we'll skip that. This is going to be last name, so we're going to select last name, save that. We know that's the email address, and we're going to edit this to be phone number. And we're going to save that. And then so we've skipped that. We don't have anything else that we need to worry about. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 form fields that we want to use, and we say continue to organize. So you can tag all the contacts, excuse me. So let's say, for example, this is going to be your customer. So you can tag it with that. You could also tag it with something else, such as let's say warm leads, or anything that you like. This is going to help keep things organized so you can pick certain groups that you want to email to. And this is, we're saying that they are subscribed. And whenever you add a new list or update something, you can say update existing contacts. Typically, once you do that, MailChimp is going to look through there for you and replace any old information with the new. So we're going to continue to the review. 4 of 6 columns, we've applied tags. The status is subscribed, and we're going to update the existing. So let's go ahead and do that. So it says we have 1 contacts, but that's only because it's busy importing the list right now. And you can see the progress. You can go off and do whatever you'd like. Once this is done, we'll probably refresh that if it doesn't do it, and you'll see the number of folks. And it'll also give you a report as to whether or not something worked. So we're going to wait for just 1 more second, and then it's going to refresh. So we have 485 contacts taken care of. It's already done for us. We have the email address, we have the first and last names, the phone numbers, and we've got the tags that we've assigned to them. Good to go. Now that we've got the contacts imported and we're ready to work with those, let's just take a look real quick around the account so you kind of know where everything is. So the chimp head is going to take you back to the main page, and then the next one is create. If you click on that, you'll see all the different things that you can put together now that you have this account. Email obviously is what you're mostly going to use. You can actually create ads for Facebook or Instagram, Google from here, which is great, and that allows you to retarget. That's a little bit more of an advanced feature that we might have a class on later on. Website, you can create a website, but what I would suggest is not doing that, because that's the entire reason for having the agent portals and the agent profile pages. Landing pages, if you have a specific campaign and you might want to offer a discount, or you want to gather more contacts, you can set something like that up. The survey is new. I actually haven't worked with it. I think that's great. It's something that you can send out to get some information, maybe about what if you want to put together a class or a seminar, and you can send out information to some of your best subscribers who have a high open rate. They look at your emails often and get some information from them. You can also create social posts just right from here. So it's kind of not a one-stop shop, but you have a lot of opportunities to come here and just work directly from here to get things set up. Sign up forms, that's a way for you to get those things taken care of, so you can create a custom web page, a landing page, so you can send an email out to folks and say, hey, sign up for my, like we talked about before, hey, sign up for my email newsletter that comes out. I promise I won't sell your contact information, and I promise to only email you every so often. And you can also do postcards, and they'll print those and send them. Now, it's going to be much more expensive than doing it through us, but you do have that option. So let's go ahead and move over to your campaigns. This is where you're going to find any emails that you set up and to send out. And obviously we don't have any of those, but you can view them by type. You can filter those out, but you'll see those with the results. But once we get one of those set up, and also you can see the calendar view, so you can see where you've sent those things out. Automate. This allows you to set up some automated emails, and we'll go through some basic ones, such as a reply when someone signs up for your or your newsletter account. And then you can also set it up any audiences. You can actually manage your audience, and you can go in and add information as a CRM, which includes a birthday. And so you can automate emails to go out to any of these folks that you have birthdays to, just as a little reminder saying, hey, just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. You can automate ads, a little bit more advanced. Same thing, you can automate a postcard schedule. Again, your audience, which we were just at, you can see all the basic information. So once you have that, what you're going to do now, you can view your audience, you can manage, you can add a subscriber manually. And then so you can see your growth. Once you start sending things out, it's a paid feature, so you're not going to actually get that. But if you were to bump up and upgrade, you'd start to get some feedback about who it is that's engaging with you, so that you can make decisions based on that. So one of the good things down here is for your engagement. So you can see folks who have often opened up your emails, sometimes and rarely, and you can target those people without having to do this yourself. They've already taken care of it for you, but they'll be able to divide up who's engaging with you more often or who's not engaging with you at all. People who often open it, you could target them specifically. If you're having a seminar or something you want people to engage with you on, or to share with other people, because you can do that in your emails, asking them to share the information. We look at brand. So this is where you would have your templates, and you would create a new one, or you would have other ones that you import. And we'll talk about we have some templates ready to go for you, and we can talk about how you're going to connect with our account so that we can offer those to you. Manage domains if you create something, and your Content Studio. We'll take a real quick look at Content Studio. This would allow you to, if there's your headshot, you would go ahead and upload that. You can, and you would really just grab something like we've got this picture of my son, Bo, and we'll go ahead and upload that, so we always have access to it whenever we want. If you've got a logo, you would upload that. But let's say, for example, we've got this and we import it. It's a little bit weird. So we can go ahead and view details and edit, and it has its own editing feature right inside here, which is pretty fantastic. And we'll go ahead and flip it, we'll save it, and it's ready to go. And you'll notice that changes maybe if we refresh. There we go. That's taken care of, and it's fixed, and it's ready to go. But this is a great place if you've got logos, if you've got photos that you would use often. Obviously, your headshot, you would include that. But this is where you could find that stuff to easily access it when you're creating a template. And then your reports. Once you start sending campaigns, you'll be able to go in and take a look at the data that's been gathered from them and make decisions on what you might want to do going forward. So let's go back really quick and look at audience. Let's view our contacts. And then what you can do here is, let's say, for example, Rose doesn't want to receive anything else. You can choose your action and unsubscribe. You can add or remove tags. And you can also click directly on that and then go into that person's information. And you can, just like a CRM, you can write a note and say, I contacted them 14 times or whatever you want to say. You'll see all of that specific person's open rate, click rate, all of that information. You can, once you get a birthday or an address, you can go ahead and edit that information. We've got the birthday is right here. You can go ahead and put that information in there, and that would actually allow you to set up a automated email that sends them a birthday thing. So once you have set up your account and you have the email address and all that stuff is ready to go, all you would really have to do is send marketing an email and say, I've set up my MailChimp account. I've used this email address. Please share the templates with me. And once we get that, what we'll do is we'll go into our MailChimp account and we'll share our templates, and you'll get an email that looks like this: MailChimp template shared. So then all you have to do is you open that, you see the template, and you say add to your account. And then it will basically say, boom, template 3 added. So now you have a template ready to go. And when you go to your templates, you go to brand templates, that's what you're going to find. But let's just go ahead and take a look at this template so you can kind of see what it looks like and go through some of the sections of these templates to kind of talk to you about how you can make the edits to those. And then we'll talk a little bit about how you can add things to it, subtract things to it, what you should and shouldn't do with them, that sort of thing. So the first block here is going to be a image and text block, which you can see right here, image and text. When you click on each one of these sections, what's going to pop up is what is available to edit within that. So we're just going to do basic stuff and talk about what you can and can't do, and we won't get into too much detail because this is a branded template with the appropriate colors and fonts, etc., that are approved. So we ask that you don't change very much. For one, for sure, we don't want you removing the Agent Owned logo. We want you to leave that in there. I will show you how you can add something in there in just a second. But this header right here, you can change that to whatever you want by highlighting. Do whatever you need to do in terms of changing that headline. Obviously, you want to try to keep that headline small and succinct so it fits within this area. It doesn't start making things disproportionate. But you would just click on that and make those changes that way. So same thing in here. Again, you click up here and you would change the header for the second column. You click the copy in the second column and you can change the link that you want here. So let's say it's, I don't know, joeshomes.com. So what we're going to do is just highlight that, click on the link, and we're going to say we want them to go to a web address. We're going to put that web address, and you could copy and paste that at this point. And we're just going to use the Agent Owned website. And this would, when you click on this, we want a new window to open. We don't want people to navigate away from your newsletter. We want them to be able to come back to that easy. So leave that checked and hit insert, and you'll see that that has become a link. So when we save and close that, go to preview and test, we're going to see this link here. So when you click on that link, obviously we've put in the Agent Owned URL, so it's going to navigate us to the Agent Owned, and it's going to open a new window. You can't see that because of the framing, but it's going to open it and take you to that. So we'll X out of that and go back to our template. And we X out and we go back, and here, same thing. When you click on this, this is a block that we've dragged in that is the social media stuff. So we've said what the link text is going to be. You would put yours in here, whatever your Facebook page is. Same thing with your Twitter, your Instagram. And you'll notice that, let's say, for example, you don't have a Twitter account. You can change it to a number of things that are available to you. So you can pick any of those things that you want. And if you want somebody to email you, you can change that to an email instead of Twitter, and it changes the icon for you. There's your email address. We're going to say email me at joe.sampleemail@gmail.com. And so what that'll do is that has automatically made that an email, and it's going to email directly to there. Let's say we've got this block here that is just an image. We can adjust the size that we see. So it's going to, if we have it all the way up to 100%, it's going to be the full width that's able. If you would like to replace that, just upload into your Content Studio. If you want to change that picture, and let's say that you've got a bunch of pictures here, but this is the one you want to use, you select that, you see the check, and hit insert, and obviously that's going to save it. And so now we've got this huge photo, which we can adjust however we'd like it to be viewed. Save and close that. But you click here, and then you've got your content. You can add any text. You could add additional photos in here if you would like to. Same thing here, clicking down. All of these are just editable, easy peasy. And see if you put any of those items in there, you just list them, and you can add your link and say, click link for more info. and then add the URL for that farmer's market that you're doing or whatever event that's happening. So, and then what we've also done is we also have some links and everything down here at the bottom so that you have multiple areas that people can find you. Okay, we're going to save and close that. And let's say, for example, that you have, like we're saying, please don't remove the agent own logo, but you would like to add your logo in there underneath that. That's quite all right. So all you really have to do here is, let's say you're going to do that, you pick image, and you'll see the areas where you can put it. And so we're going to drop it right here. And all you would have to do is, if you've uploaded into the Content Studio your logo, you would just click to upload an image. We're going to use that out of the Content Studio. We're just using his photo everywhere. And of course, once we do that, we can change the size of it and change your name. And you'll see it changing in real time over here. You would put your information here, add anything extra that you want. That's probably plenty. And then if you want to replace that, you're going to replace it. And then it's going to open up in your Content Studio. So then you can just navigate to your headshot, and we're going to add that in there and say insert. Easy as that. And now there's my picture. And then we would save and close, and that's ready to go. Any of these you can click into to work with. So once you are done, we're going to save and exit. And then we're going to go to campaigns. Okay, so we have our template, and the template's ready to go. We're going to go ahead and create our very first campaign that we're going to send out to our contacts. So when you say create campaign, we're going to say that we're going to do an email, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to do an email. We're going to do a regular, and we're going to name that. So you want to make sure that you name your campaigns so that you can go back to them later. So let's say that you're going to be doing something on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So we're going to say April 3rd, 2020. So we're going to we can edit the recipients, but it's automatically going to take the 485, that first one. So that's just what we're going to do. It's going to say add from. Who's it coming from? Well, you go ahead and put your full name in there, or you can say Joe Akers Realtor, or you can do whatever you'd like. And then it needs to say who the email is coming from and who they can respond to if they want to. You're going to save that. Your subject, you're going to say weekly newsletter, April 3rd, 2020. You can put emojis and things like that in there. You've got the selection for most of your basic ones, and those draw attention when you get that in your inbox. You might want to put something at the very front so that it looks like it's important. Let's go look for maybe a star. So we'll put that at the beginning, so when they get it in their inbox, they'll see a star, and that'll draw their attention to it. So, and then in the preview text, what we're going to do is that's what's going to appear in the subject line of the inbox. So you want to put something that's relevant to what you're writing, relevant to what's in the email, but also have something that's going to draw some attention and make people want to click on it and open the email. And so you can say something like, "You won't believe this house that sold in Mount Pleasant." Something like that. So you can see that you have a certain number of characters, and that's the snippet that they're going to see. Weekly newsletter, you won't believe this house that sold in Mount Pleasant. So that's drawing attention. Make sure it's relevant to what it is that you're writing about so that you're not tricking them. So you're going to design an email with the content. What we're going to do when we design that, we're going to go to our save templates, use that one. Okay, so once we're in here, we can go in and start making any changes that we want to. We can change our picture that we have. We can upload a new one. We can change our titles. Okay, so once you've done all that, you're going to save that, and it's ready to go. You can preview. You can send a test email if you want to, and send that to you. So we're going to say send it to Joe at sample email at gmail.com. And so we're just going to go ahead and send that test email. You can send to multiple, so if you want someone else to look at that and give you some responses, just separate that by commas. Say OK. All right, so we're in our inbox and we've got our test email. We can see that by the little brackets and saying that it's test. But then you also see we put that little emoji with that star, and that stands out with the rest of our email. So you might want to consider something like that. We click on that and then we get a chance to see what the email is going to look like in our inbox. Make sure that everything's spelled well. We can make sure that our links that are taking us to the local events, perfect, that works. Let's scroll back up and see if it'll take us to this article. Perfect. Scroll back up and try this one. All of those links are working wonderfully. If we click on our Facebook, it's going to take us to our agent owned page. Those links are working. Everything looks really good. So once we've sent that email, that sample email, and we've looked at it and we think it looks great, then we'll go ahead and we'll continue. So it's going to give you a few prompts if you happen to do something not quite right. So it says your email is saved, but you'll need to remove this placeholder text before you can send it. So we're going to keep editing. Okay, so we go down here and it's just given us an update that we didn't quite have what we needed to. It wants to make sure that we're sending the right thing. So let's go ahead and tweak that. We're going to save that and close it. We're going to hit continue. And so now what we have is we have a checklist right before we send it. So we're sending it to all of our subscribed contacts, 485 recipients. We can edit that right before we send it. It's saying who it's from and the email that it's associated with. You see the subject line and the preview text. Everything's looking good. You can add a social post to your campaign. When you hit send, it'll let everybody know that that's available. You can say new weekly newsletter is out. If you'd like to receive it as well, click the link in my bio to sign up. Once you do that, so you can finish it later if you want to come back, or you can send it right now. So then all you really would have to do is hit send and it's ready to go. Okay? Now, one of the things that we can do is we take a look at the settings where it's aligned. So let's say we want that logo to be aligned to the left. We can do that. To the right, we can do that as well. And that's all we have to do. For this section here, you can see, you click on the top, these are all separate columns, and this is, you would click on the header there so you could change the title there. This is set up so that there are anchors. So when someone views this email, we'll just save and close out of there so we can see it. So let's go real quick for preview, and we'll preview that. So when someone gets this in their email, this is set up so that these have anchors on them. So if you click local events, that's going to take you to right down to the header of local events, and you can get that. And so the same thing with both of these. It's going to take you basically right to the header. That's where the anchor has been added to it. So it just helps you if you have a longer newsletter that you're doing. People can navigate to those things easily. So we'll back out of that and go back. So you can change that however you want, but just consider that the anchor is number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay, so the way that we're going to fix that is you would highlight it, and then you would click on the link icon here. What's going to pop up is link to. You can use an anchor link, but what we're actually going to do is we're going to use web address. Then we're going to put the number sign, anchor 1, and you would change that for any of them. Let's open up advanced options. We don't want to open a new window, so we'll click that off of that. But for any of those sections in 1, 2, or 3, you would just change that to what anchor you want to fix it to. So click insert, and what we've done now is we've now made that a link. So if we go back, we save and close, go back to preview, and click on that, it's gonna be this section here. So this is not gonna change automatically when you change this up here. So obviously you're gonna have to change that to match it. But what it's just doing is saying this area of text here, when I click on this one, take it to the second header of text in the newsletter. So it's just an easy way for people to navigate. All right, so I really hope that everything that we talked about and everything I tried to show you today will help you get jump started and set up your MailChimp account. And once you do that, there's more to come. So once you have that available to you, you can start using that. And I will be putting together some additional classes with more advanced things. And we are working internally on some new programs that will help to get you up and running and to provide you with content. And just think of it as SOI cards for email. And that's what I'll leave you with. But I really hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email, joe.akers@agentown.com, and I'll try to help you as best I can. But hey, when you get it set up, put me on your list. All of you have my permission to put my email on your list, and shoot me an email. I can't wait to see it. Thanks so much.